give you some. Which way is right? Oh, okay.
Oh, Jesus de Christos.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Hey, everybody, what's good?
Good morning. I'm going to give people time to join in this morning. Hey, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Who's number one? We'll see. We got folks in. I just can't see who they are. Miss Edith, you are number one on the YouTube side. Good morning to you, Miss Edith. We love you. Thank you so much for being so faithful every morning. All right. Vanessa Kirkendall, you are number one. Good morning. You are she's a milestone follower too. Good morning. Good morning, Tanya.
I would be excited about that if I knew what that meant.
Yeah, well, milestone means that she hit a milestone in following me in the morning on Fresh Baked Manna. Okay, awesome. That means that you're doing good, Vanessa. That's what that means. Hello, Tanya, Karen, LaRonda, Sharon. Good morning to all of you, and then all of you joining us. Sharita, good morning on the YouTube side. Today is a special day for us. What is it?
It's a milestone.
It's a milestone.
Me following you too.
It's a milestone for him following me. Yes, it's our wedding anniversary today. And we wanted to come out today and talk to, first of all, let me do my intro the right way. Good morning. We are skipping Melva Henderson, and this is Fresh Baked Manna Live. And our goal every day is to come out before you to share with you God's word, to help you take God's word and put it into the practicality of your day-to-day life. We want you to live strong. We want you to live long, and we want you to live strong. And so we come out every day because we believe in you, right?
Yeah. We believe in you.
We believe in you. And so good morning to Maria, Darlene, and all of you that are just joining us. And so we're going to talk about relationships and how we've been able to last almost 30 years as a married couple, but we've been together. We've been together for...
First of all, today is our 27th.
Today is the 27th anniversary.
We've been together over 32 years.
We've been together over 32 years. Yes, we've been together. We've been together a long time, and we've had our highs, we've had our lows. But one thing about us is that at some point in the relationship, we started to stabilize. And so we want to talk to you all about the value of sticking with it in the tough times, because we've had some highs and lows in our marriage. And every high, every low that we've ever experienced seemed to take something out of us. It seemed to take something away from us, whether it be trust, whether it be strength, whether it, there's so many things that when you get hit in your relationships that you just like, forget it. I don't want to go on anymore. But we have fought through those. We fought through high times, low times, times where we had to decide, I'm going to stay in this marriage, even though it's difficult. We've missed one another and we've been disconnected, especially when you have kids involved. Yeah,
the kids a lot of times can become the focus versus your relationship. And then when the kids get to a place, because they take up so much time, so much of your energy and effort, and then when they finally get to a place where they can take care of themselves, then you start looking at each other and go, well, who are you?
Like, right, who are you?
Who are you, and do I still want to be with you?
Right, because what we don't realize sometimes is that while we're nurturing and raising and working with our kids and watching our kids grow and change, we are also changing.
And we're also depleting our relationship with one another.
Right. We're also changing.
Right.
And we're depleting ourselves. So we're becoming different people. And so by the time that our children leave, the person that I married isn't that person anymore. He's evolved. He's backed away from some things that were valuable to him when we first got married no longer are, and vice versa. And so there's this constant, that's why it's critical to have that constant check-in with your mate, constantly saying, who are you? Where are you at? What's in your heart? What's in your mind? And, making...
You still with me?
Right.
We still want to be together?
Right.
All those realistic questions need to be asked, because if you don't ask them and you leave them up to assumption, you usually assume the wrong thing. And then when you get hit, it becomes such a blow. Like, where did that come from? Well, if you had been paying any attention, you'd have seen this coming.
Right.
And so it's so important to look at your mate eye to eye. One of the things we normally do on our anniversaries, we go away. And for the first, we may go away anywhere from 7 to 10 days. For the first 3 days, we talk about our marriage. And
we talk about ministry.
Well, we talk about,
we dump.
Yeah, we do.
We dump
So
everything.
the first day we talk about ministry. The second day we talk about family. And the third day we plan for our marriage and where we're going to go. And then the rest of the time we just date. But we make sure that we spend time looking at each other and reaffirming and reassuring one another. You're the one I want to be with for the rest of my life. And what adjustments do I need to make sure this is enjoyable for both of us?
Right. One of the things, the reason that we made the decision to do that, and honestly, 7 days is not long enough, because sometimes it takes us 4 days to get through. Because usually what happens when we go away every year, we've been so busy moving around one another that we really haven't had the time to deal with anything specific. And so those first 3 days, we pull ourselves away and we heart dump. We emotion dump, we mind dump. And so if there's something that we've been carrying, some strife, some offense that we have with one another, we talk through those things. And sometimes it takes a minute. If there's strife around the kids, if there's strife around the business, if there's strife around, or if there's just solutions that need to come to those things, we address all of those things. And then after we're done heart dumping, then we can move on and talk about, now, where are we going to go in this coming year? And this is something that we are in the process of doing right now. Where are we going in 2022? What do you see? What's in your heart? What is God saying to you? And so it's not just me coming to him and saying, what is God saying to you about where we're supposed to be as a family? I'm open to hear that, but he's also open to hear what I believe God is saying about our family.
People used to say, happy wife, happy life. But I've often said that's not the truth. It's happy spouse, happy house, which means it's just important for me to be happy as it is for her to be happy. And when we both are happy, then we have a happy house and we have a happy relationship, and it's a healthy relationship. One of the things I realized from my wife is when we're together or in our marriage, the DNA of our marriage is Melva needs conclusions to things.
Conversation and conclusion.
She can't have things just up there, juggling. When she has conclusion and things are finished, then she can move on. But until things are finished, you piling on for her, and it just makes it worse. So for us, one of the great things about us going away is we get to complete thoughts. We get to finish ideas together. We get to have uninterrupted conversation from cell phones, texts, emails, people calling, house calls, ministry merges. All that gets to stop. And we get to look at each other and say, do you still love me?
Right. I mean, we've had conversations where like after our kids were gone, after everybody, we officially became empty nesters. We were at a place that was very difficult.
Yeah.
In our marriage. And we were both coming to the table saying, do you still want to be married? And we had to seriously answer that question. Is this something? And we were pastoring a church,
right,
running a business,
in love with each other,
loving one another, but really not connecting with each other. And so we had to.
And let me say this is beyond physical.
Right.
This is beyond sex. It was mentally. We're not having heart connections because we're doing this. We're making it happen.
We were so busy serving everybody else that we didn't serve ourselves. And so there's this proverbial, oh, you're going to be okay.
Right.
Oh, you're going to be okay. He's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. She's going to be okay. And so because of that, we never took the time that was necessary to do what was important, do what was necessary to invest in ourselves.
And to keep each other a priority.
Right. Right. And so we didn't make one another a priority. And I'm telling you all, if you are in a relationship with someone and you say that you love that person and you are not intentional about making them a priority in your life, they're not a priority. If you're not intentional about carving out time and about looking them in the eye, putting your phone down. Oh my God, put the phone down. Get away from social media and have a conversation with one another. We've got too many relationships that are in the drive-by. They do everything in the drive-by. They communicate about the kids driving by. They communicate about the house, the decisions, all of that. It's all in the drive-by versus stopping their lives, slowing down, having dinner together, talking to one another, getting in the car, riding together. We have 2 separate cars. And there was a season where I hadn't been in his car and I don't know how long, and he hadn't been in my car unless he was driving it. But I'm talking about us being together. And so you have to be intentional about paying attention to your relationships if you want them to grow.
Yeah, I remember when we first got married, and Melba would put on her makeup and whatnot, and I would go in there and watch her, and she would ask me, "What are you doing? Why are you watching me put on makeup?" It was because, one, I was studying her. If I got to be with you for the rest of my life, then I need to know who I'm with. But I also got to pay attention to her to see what kind of makeup she wore, kind of lipstick she wore, hair stuff. I wanted to know all that. So in case there was a run out, I could know how to get it for her and know what to get without it being a big ordeal, because I care that much for her that I want whatever her needs are to be met. And so that's part of our relationship is, do you really know who you're in a relationship with? Have you studied them?
Because they change.
They
The people
change.
that you're with change.
You know,
I remember
Yeah, go ahead.
asking, but no, I
No,
think
go
I
ahead.
know
Go
we're
ahead.
probably
Finish
getting
it.
ready to say the same thing.
But see, that's the good thing about being connected, we say.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. But he was asking me, or he was doing something, and the color, my favorite color came up. I don't know, how did that go?
What happened was, when we first got married, Melva's favorite color was black. And so everything I get her was black. If we got cars, we got black cars. If I got her something to wear, it would be black. If I got her something, everything I got her was black. And then I got her some black stuff. She went,
I was like, why you keep buying me black?
And I was like, ain't that your favorite color? I said, yeah. In 95, she changed. But the problem was she didn't inform me of the change.
Right. We didn't communicate about that kind of change.
So here I'm still moving with what I think is pleasing you, only to know that you've changed. And because I didn't know, I didn't shift with the change. And now what I'm doing, what I'm thinking is pleasing you, you're going, that don't do nothing for me no more.
Right. And I would take it back or something like that. And then he'd get in his chest because, I went through all of that, search for all of that, found that, and bought you something. You say, I never buy you nothing. So now I'm buying you something, and you taking it back. You don't even value it. But I changed. And so what we realized in that situation, this was years ago, but what we realized in that moment was the importance of us digging deeper in watching one another, digging deeper and being intentional about making sure that we can see that the other one has changed. What are your likes? Ask the questions.
Right.
What do you like now? Are you still, do you still eat them kind of food? What pleases you?
Right.
And if you don't do that, then as you continue to age physically, then you start disconnecting from one another because you can't identify.
Right.
Today, I know when something's going to bother Skip. I know what I can say that's going to send him off the cuff. He knows what he can say that'll send me out. Why? Because one, we've had situations that we've had to deal with. And two, because we have studied. We are studying one another. And then we're bringing what we know to the table so it can make our relationship strong.
And even in the season we're in now, Melva's been in the throes of getting her master's degree. She's almost at the end of it. And so her focus has been the schooling. And so my focus had to be a change in that, okay, now I have to come in and check on her. How you doing? You need some water. Do you need you need a snack? What do you need? Because I realized I don't want my wife to be in here just falling apart right before me, right in the same house as me, and I don't even notice it. And so there'd be times I tell her, okay, you need a Sabbath. You're not working. You're not doing any school today. You're not doing anything. just get out this house. And that time of just getting away from all this became refreshing for her. It gave her new energy. She was able to rethink some things that she was struggling with. But somebody had to look at her and say,
You're overdoing
you're
it.
overdoing it.
Yeah, you're
And one
overdoing
of the things I remember saying to my wife that, people love us, but they don't necessarily care for us. She said, what do you mean? I said, people love us. They love us. They really do. There's a bunch of people who love us, but they don't know how to care for us. They don't see when you're struggling or we're tired. They don't see that or do anything about it. So I told her, then that's my job to look at you and notice and make sure that you're good. And that's your job to look at me and notice and make sure that I'm good. And that's when we started really paying attention to the state and affairs of those that are laboring among us. She's my life partner. And because she's with me for life, I want to make sure the life that we live together is one, fruitful, productive, healthy, life-giving, and loving. That when people look at us, our love doesn't have to be said, it can be seen. That can't nobody look at me and say, I wonder if he loves his wife. You'll know that when you see me. You'll know that when you see my interactions with her, that this is real, authentic, unashamed love that I have for her. And I trust her with everything that I am and everything that's valuable to me. And so because of that, I'm able to be vulnerable with her. And she has been able to keep my vulnerability safe.
Right. And so what is this saying for you all? This is our story, but this is how we got this way. It has not always been this way. And that's what we want you all to understand. We haven't always been where we are today. This has been a concerted effort by both of us. I'm talking about both of us working on our sides and knocking our head and fighting and separating and all of that. Yes, we have separated before.
No, we haven't.
We haven't separated. I have separated. I have left the house. I have gone someplace else. The maximum has been what, a day, 24 hours? Longest I've been away from him is maybe 24 hours. But that's because, well, how many?
I think 48.
48 hours. Okay, so the longest I've been away from him is 48 hours. And what I needed was time for God to speak to me. That's what you need. There's going to be times when you're going to need a safe place where you can go and gather your thoughts, think about what it is that you're fighting about or whatever, but then you get back in there and you fight until you get to the solution. And that's for me, because Skip was the kind of person, he just shut down. He didn't want to talk. He didn't want to get into it. And I'm like, no, we're going to talk about this, because I understood that if we didn't talk about it, that all it was going to do was fester something in my heart. And I knew that if I didn't address it, that it was going to destroy this relationship. And so, this 27 years of marriage and 30 something years of relationship has been proven, it's been tested, and it's been proven. And so what we're saying to you all is that no matter what relationship you may find yourself in, there is a way to get to that, especially those of you that are married. There is a way to get through your marriage, in a very powerful way. We say that when marriage is good, it's good, but when it's bad,
oh, it's bad.
It's bad. And so learning how to navigate through those seasons of your life, recognizing that one, our basis is God's word. We are both committed to doing what God said we should do in this relationship. And that's the value of having a believer that you're married to. But we realize that there are some people who are not married to believers. Okay, no problem. You live the word. You do what the word says, and then you will see God moving on your behalf.
Yeah, I think what's most important to me is not only is my wife happy or have what she needs, but how I treat her and how I love her is also a reflection of God. And that, the Bible says, husbands, love your wives. And we think, well, that's all you got to do is love me. But no, as Christ loved the church, where he gave himself for her. He did whatever he could to make sure she was good and that she had everything she needed to be the best version of her that she could possibly be within the confines and the context of his ability to make. And so for me, it's always, okay, God, help me to put my wife in the best scenario where she can shine her brightest. Help me to make sure that she knows if ain't nobody else cheerleading for her, I got her back, her side, her front, her top, her bottom, wherever she needs me, I got her. And that she always feels safe with me. That she never feels like there's ever a threat of physical, mental, spiritual, or emotional hurt, harm, or danger that will ever come to her. My wife never, ever has ever heard me call her out her name. Never.
Yeah, but that's because out the gate, we established some ground rules and we did not violate those ground rules. One of the ground rules is that we would never call one another names. We would never say something. We would never, ever call one another something that we did not really, really mean. And so we've never called one another out of their name. So we've never told each other to shut up. Never. In 30-something years of being together, we've never said, shut up. He's never called me a B. I've never called him an AH. We've never had, did I call you that? Stop.
Not to my face, but you probably meant it mentally.
Oh, I done tore you up in my mind, but I didn't say nothing.
I've been way more than that.
In my mind, you a whole lot of stuff in my mind. But anyway, never. But what we chose to do, because we understood the power of our words, we were not willing to make each other a casualty of our words. And so we just,
or of our moments,
right. So we just shut it down. Right. Nope. That's when I had to leave the house, because I was that close to calling him out of his name. That's why I had to leave the house, because I was close to acting out of my flesh and doing something or saying something that could have potentially cost me my marriage. And I wasn't willing to do that. And so we just wanted to share. Today is our wedding anniversary, and we wanted to share with you all just how we've been able to do it. And there's so much more that we could share, but we don't have the time.
I told my wife, I said, we should change this into a relationship where maybe once a week we just come out and talk about relationships and how we've survived and how we've gotten through some things. I think it would be extremely beneficial to a bunch of people.
Yeah, we will. We'll see. All right. God bless you all. We love you. Thank you for joining us. This has been Fresh Baked Manna Live. This is Skip and Melva Henderson on their wedding anniversary.
2-7.
Yeah. And so we love you guys. And our desire is to see you show up in the world being the best version of you that you can be, because nobody can beat you being you like you. God bless you all. We'll see you Monday. Have a great service. Yeah. Get in a church. Get in a small group. Get in a house church. Find yourself someplace with believers. Community. Right. Find a community where you can grow and you can be the person that God has called you to be. Love you. Bye-bye.